So, you may have seen just yesterday we made this video talking about the Vancouver Canucks, the LA Kings, and the Vegas Golden Knights, and whether or not they would be in a bidding war for New Jersey Devils forward Tyler Toffoli. Well, in that video we also talked about the Devils' perspective themselves, saying that they would like to keep Toffoli around, they want to re-sign him, but we don't really know if that's going to happen. So for now, we're going to shift our focus to yet another player who is starting up a bidding war for himself. Because if you head over to what Pierre LeBrun said the other day on Twitter, this is the big news out of Pittsburgh. The sense here is that the Pittsburgh Penguins, after that road trip, have a very clear sense of what needs to be done before Friday's deadline. And charting a course accordingly, they're exploring all options with view to bolster the club for the future. I'm hearing there's 6+ legit suitors for Jake Guentzel. Vegas and Vancouver are among them. Now, further to this idea, we had Darren Dreger go out there and say this. Sources say the Penguins are hoping to have a trade in place for Guentzel by tomorrow evening. Pittsburgh is open to quality over quantity in return, but they would like a first, a young NHL player, plus prospects. Flexibility comes in the caliber of prospect or roster player. And so, with these two ideas in mind, firstly, saying that the Penguins, after their road trip, they realize they're kind of trash, they gotta go out there and spend some players of the now to really help them out in the future, because, I don't know if you noticed, but the Penguins have no prospects. They have no picks, no prospects. A lot of their future has been mortgaged for the now. They got Erik Karlsson. They re-signed a bunch of guys. They need to bolster their future core. So, with 6+ legit teams going out there and talking about Jake Guentzel, with Vegas and Vancouver being among them, it makes everything look super interesting heading into tomorrow, when we'll probably see a Jake Guentzel trade go down. Now, I will say, I don't have any video footage for this, but I did see yesterday on the Sportsnet video segment on TV that they were talking about the idea of the Vancouver Canucks trading away Höglander for a Jake Guentzel. We can get into that idea a little bit more as the video goes along, but that's just something to keep in the back of your mind if you are a Canucks fan watching this video. Furthermore to these two tweets, though, we also had Chris Johnston go out there and say this. The expectation is that Guentzel will be traded by the Penguins as a rental. It doesn't sound like potential acquiring teams have shown much interest in trying to work out an extension as part of the trade. And this is really interesting to me, mostly because for Vancouver, the earlier word that we had heard was that the Canucks mostly would want to only trade away their first-round pick for a player whom they know can stick around. They don't want to trade away another first for a rental like they did with Elias Lindholm. Not necessarily because Lindholm is bad, but because the Canucks would like to be able to retain some parts of their future. And so a Jake Guentzel-like asset, while he definitely isn't like the youngest guy in the world, he still is a good enough player that if you wanted to say he's only 29 right now, he's a point-per-game guy right now, if you wanted to say that he'll be valuable on an NHL club until he's 33, 4, 5, or 36 even, then there may be some incentive to re-sign this guy to an extension, who's only making $6 million this year, but on his next contract could probably make a significant amount more than that. So, this Jake Guentzel thing has gotten really interesting over the past few days, but I wanted to go over some analyses that goes over what exactly this could look like. Because we had ourselves this article published on ProHockeyRumors.com from yesterday, talking about how the Canucks and the Golden Knights are among legit suitors for Jake Guentzel. This article does a pretty good job at talking about both of these teams and the entire, let's just say, bidding war. We'll call it a bidding war too. Tyler Toffoli was a bidding war, Jake Guentzel, bidding war, even more of a bidding war because there are more teams going out there, at least 6, talking about Jake Guentzel. Now, when it comes to Vancouver, this article says that the Canucks have the much stronger arsenal to deal from. The team recently recalled 2019 top 10 pick Vasily Podkolzin from the AHL's Abbotsford Canucks over the weekend, and he made his season debut yesterday against the Ducks, speculatively as a showcase for a trade. Offers centered around him, such as 2022 first-round pick Jonathan Lekkerimäki or 2023 first-round pick Tom Willander, are likely to draw attention of Penguins GM Kyle Dubas. In comparison, Vegas' potential offer could center around 2020 late first-round pick Brendan Brisson, or 2023 selection David Edstrom, the last pick of the first round, who grades out as a potential high-end third-line center. Importantly, neither team has the long-term flexibility to ink the pending UFA and Guentzel to an extension. The Golden Knights are averaging less than Why does it say MM? That does not really make any sense. 1 million? There's no double M in there. Huh, odd. The Golden Knights are averaging less than $1 million in cap space for every open roster spot next season, while the Canucks need to allocate a significant chunk of next season's spending to their defense. Only Quinn Hughes and Noah Juleson are signed through next season or longer. Guentzel's $6 million cap hit would also pose an insurmountable salary cap hurdle for Vancouver and Vegas, so the team must retain half of his salary in any potential deal. Both teams could use the top-line help, however. Canucks star Elias Pettersson is currently flanked by Höglander and Suter, both of whom are better suited for middle six roles. I'm going to disagree with you there. ProHockeyRumors.com, sorry, this article did not read what exactly is going on in Vancouver. Nils Höglander has been a beast. Pia Suter, though, I can agree, he's probably more suited to a middle six role. Vegas, meanwhile, is still looking to shoulder the loss of Captain Mark Stone for the rest of the regular season and potentially the playoffs due to a lacerated spleen. While also injured, Guentzel is nearing a return from an upper body injury that's kept him out since mid-February and should be ready to return shortly after the deadline. He has 22 goals and 52 points, yada yada yada, set to eclipse the point-per-game mark for the 4th time in the last 5 years. That's one of my favorite plays of all time, oddly enough, the last 5 years, but still, when it comes to these ideas, you're starting to see some of the cracks in the armor here. When Patrick Allvin says, yeah, we want to go out there and not trade away a first-round pick. We want to keep our guys, and we want to only trade for players that we can extend. But the salary cap situation may not allow for that to be done. As a result, you've got all these teams that Chris Johnston is reporting that may not see Jake Guentzel as an asset that they could sign long-term. They'll just trade for him, and then maybe he'll go to the market after. Who really knows? Maybe there's an idea that says that Guentzel could re-sign in Pittsburgh in the offseason. I don't know. Like, if that happens, then all of a sudden the Penguins probably need to get this trade done soon because they could maximize on whatever value and momentum has been built up over the past few days and take advantage of a team like Vegas or like Vancouver in regards to a Guentzel trade. Because if you can guarantee that he's going to come back, just pull off that Antoine Vermette strategy, baby. Get as many assets as you can and focus on the next year and beyond, because you can still get the prospects, you can still get the picks, but if you get Guentzel back, then all of a sudden everything's okay now, right? But of course, that is a 1 in 32 chance of happening, because it's never a guarantee that a player who's entered free agency is going to re-sign with an older team. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canucks and the Golden Knights being among the legit suitors for Jake Guentzel? What are your thoughts about the potential trade price that could bring itself up for Vancouver? You're talking about a young forward, maybe Podkolzin. You're talking about a prospect, maybe Lekaramaki. You're talking about a first-round pick, or maybe even 2. And then for Vegas, you're talking about Brennan Brisson, David Edstrom, a few other guys could toss themselves into that conversation as well. How comfortable are you with these trade ideas? And if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, which package do you think suits your needs the most? Which prospect out of these guys is the one you want for your hockey team? And which one do you think would fit the best heading into the long-term future? I think Jonathan Lekaramaki is probably the most impressive guy out of this bunch, but that's just me. I'm being very biased because I love the Canucks. But either way, Canucks fans, Vegas fans, Pittsburgh fans, what are your thoughts about the Jake Guentzel trade that is going to happen probably by tomorrow? We'll see. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.